Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So in today's video I'm very excited. I'm going to be diving into the new liner palette from Beauty Bay. Now I will start out by saying exactly 30 seconds in that I am no good at using products like this, but this is my pledge to get better. I love these colours. The colours are what drew me in initially, so I'm very excited to see how these look, see how easy they are to use and all of that good stuff, see how easy they are to use as somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing. So I already have my foundation, concealer and brows on, and everything else that I'm going to be using on my face today is from Beauty Bay. Starting with bronzer, I have one of their powder bronzers and this is in the shade Fawn. So I'm going to use this to add a little bit of colour to the skin, try and make it look a little bit less like Casper the Ghost. So I'm just dipping in a Real Techniques blush brush and I'm going to start warming up the skin with this. If we haven't met before, then hello, my name is Millie. I make videos just like this all the time. I am always getting the new releases, every single one from Beauty Bay, and then I'm selective about other brands, but I generally get my hands on most new releases. I'm so excited about like new makeup. I test all of them here, give my honest review on everything that I try. Everything that I use on this channel is affordable and it's cruelty free. So if that's the sort of thing that you're into, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. But that is the bronzer on, and then I'm going to go in with one of their liquid blushes. These are one of my all-time favourite formulas. This is the shade Peaches, and for these I like to use the Expert face brushes from Real Techniques, and instead of dabbing this onto my skin, I like to get a little bit of the product on the brush and then I work it into the brush a little bit on the palm of my hand, so that I'm not going straight in with too much product, because then I will end up looking like a clown. So these are a completely matte formula, but they do, because they're a liquid, they do almost leave like a little bit of something on the skin. And obviously they are so incredibly pigmented, you need the tiniest little bit. As soon as these launched, I picked up every single shade, and this is the one that I've been reaching for most, Peaches. It's just so like bright and juicy on the skin. I absolutely love it. And then for highlight, I'm going in with the powder highlighter, and this is in the shade Beam. I'm going to take my usual highlight brush and show you in real time how much of this I pick up on my brush. That much. I'm not even going to dip in again because I know that that'll be too much. Just look how intense this highlight is. It's so pretty. Just going to take a little bit down the centre of my nose and a little bit across the Cupid's bow, and that is the base done. And we can move on to that eyeliner palette. So like I say, this is a 5-pan liner palette. And I got the shade Magic. They did also have one that had more like pinks and oranges in. I will put a picture up now of what the other one looks like. And if you've seen any of my videos, then you know that these are the colours that I go for. This like tealy turquoisey shade in the middle just looks like absolute perfection to me. So I have a lid off an old serum bottle here, and I am just going to dip a big old brush into the water, and I'm going to start activating these colours. Oh my goodness, instantly. Can you see that? Instantly. Oh, that colour is so pretty. I'm going to have to like keep this flat so that the water doesn't run off everywhere. So I'm really like swirling the brush in to get the pigment going. And that's starting to go like a little bit pasty, like it's thickening up a little bit now. So let me swipe this onto my hand so that we can see how pigmented it is. Wowzers, that colour is incredible. So I'm going to try and use the same brush. I'm going to dip it into this water to clean it off. So I'm going to do the same in the next colour over, which is of course that beautiful inky deep black. again, really work the brush in to like get the pigment in the liner really like mixed in with that water so that it's really opaque, so that it's not at all see-through. It does also say on the back of the palette, which of course I can't lift up now to read you it word for word, but it does say something about you can mix this black into the other shades to like customize the depth of color, which I think is so interesting, that like you can actually mix these together. You could use like the lid, you could properly like open this out and use the lid as like a palette to mix the colours together. So I've got that black all loaded up on there. Let's see how pigmented this one is. Oh, that's so inky. That's so dark. And you can see now, obviously it's been a while whilst I was rinsing off the brush there. It's dried completely matte, that blue one. These look incredible. So again, I've really rinsed off that brush as much as I can. I'm going to do the same into this tealy, greeny, turquoisey shade. Like I say, this is the one that like instantly drew me to this palette. I absolutely love this colour. I think I'm going to use this one today because it's my favourite colour. And I think what I want to do is like put this colour like on the inner, just do like a standard wing, looks like a standard wing, but have that colour and then like blend it into one of the more purpley shades. I was about to do it, don't do it with this brush, but I think that's what I'm going to do today. See if I can do it, because like I say, I'm not very good at using these like liquid liners. So once I can see that this is starting to like really thicken up, I'm going to swipe this colour on. Oh, that's just my favourite colour. Oh, it's just incredible. I absolutely love that colour. It's like so rich and deep. I absolutely love it. So this is the next shade along, which I was actually expecting to be a lot darker than that. As soon as I added the water into that lilac-y shade, it went so much lighter. Like if I hold this up, you might be able to see how light that's looking now compared to how bright it was originally. That's really interesting how that one changed. I love it. I love that shade, but it wasn't at all like how it started out in the pan, which was really interesting. And then this is the last shade, which again, as soon as I added the water into this one, it did go a little bit lighter, but I feel like these shades, although this is like quite a dark palette, I feel like apart from obviously like the navy and the black, these are like the shades of the summer for me. This teal, a lilac and a hot pink. You don't need to convince me to use these colours, okay? I think they are absolutely incredible. So I'm going to give that pink shade just a little minute to like dry down so that we can see if it will change colour as it dries down. The other ones I do feel like have gone a little bit darker as they've dried, even the black. So I feel like perhaps that one will change a little bit. I will go and wash my brush so that it doesn't stay this colour, and then I'll do some sort of eye look. I'm just putting a little bit of that powder bronzer, that Fawn shade, just through the crease and under the eye a little bit, just so that there's a little bit of a shadow through the crease, because that's how I generally prefer to do this sort of a dramatic eyeliner look. I do still like to have that like neutrally crease shade. And also while we're here, because why not, I'm just going to tap a little bit of the highlight across the lid again, just so there's a little something on the lid, and then I will zoom you in and let's start on these liners because I'm so excited. Those colours just look so enticing to me. I'm so excited. So I'm taking a tiny little angled brush. This is the Essence angled eyeliner brush. So it has that angle on it. I've not used a brush like this before, so I don't know how good I'm going to be. I also know that I'm no good at using like liquid eyeliners like this, so no judging here please. This is a friendly, safe space. I'm going to just get some of that green first worked into the brush. So I'm just getting this to be the sort of texture that I think will be, like the consistency that I think that this will be easiest to work with. And then let's just try and create a wing. Okay, that was fairly easy to do. Famous last words? Possibly. I'm going to try and do the same on the other side now. I will say I did have to add a little bit more water, like I'm adding more now. It's perhaps a little bit easier to do if the consistency is slightly runnier. Maybe not. Like I said, I don't really know what I'm doing. Yes, I feel like I'm quite happy with the colour of that. That is like my perfect teal statement eyeliner colour. So I'm going to just rinse off this brush. I'm going to use the same brush. So I'm just going to try and make that same sort of perfect consistency with this hot pink shade. Again, I think I just needed to add a little bit more water. I am learning in real time here, so working that water into there to try and get this to be some sort of workable consistency. I will also say that that hot pink shade definitely got darker on my hand, which I prefer because I feel like that and this teal shade going to go together so nicely. So now I'm just going to try and do a wing. So that did require a little bit of like fast movement, a little bit of deciding at the very last minute that I had to pick up another brush. So I got just a regular eyeliner brush because it was the first one that I saw when I looked into my pot that I have just there. But I feel like I am quite happy with the blend there. I do just want to like neaten up this outer corner, but I'm going to wait until this is dried. Ultimately, most importantly, I need the other side to be somewhat symmetrical. Not identical. I'm not going for that today. That's not my aim. And that is just me covering myself so that when it's not even remotely symmetrical, you can't come for me. Okay? Okay, so other than a few little smudgy edges, and I will politely ask you to not look too closely at those, I'm absolutely thrilled with those colours. They have blended together so nicely. So obviously I laid down that tealy colour on the inner corner, then I laid down the pinky on the outer corner, and across the centre I just dipped in between, where's the brush? Dipped in between the two brushes. So I was like laying down some pink and then dabbing over it with the brush that had the teal on it, and just sort of going in between the two until it looked somewhat blended. So I am going to go ahead now and put some mascara on. I'm going to use the e.l.f. Lash and Roll mascara, and then we are done. And I can zoom you out because you are incredibly close, aren't you? So that is the finished look. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's any other looks that you want to see with this little palette, because honestly, these colours are just making my heart so happy. These colours are incredible. Whilst we have them here and they are all completely dry, I will just see how like smudge proof they are. Oh wow, that black one's fading a little bit, but considering I was like properly pressing then, they are not budging, really. Considering the amount of pressure I was putting on there, the black one has faded a tiny little bit, but wow. So they're very long lasting then. In fact, since we are here, a little cotton pad with some micellar water on. So they do also come off quite easily with micellar water. Good to know, so I won't be scrubbing at my eyes. That is my final review. I'm absolutely covered in it now. Let me know what you think. If there's any other products that you want to see reviewed here, then please do let me know. If you've made it to the very, very end and you haven't yet subscribed, I would love it if you would excuse you. I would love it if you would consider subscribing down below. Like I say, I try and get my hands on pretty much every single Beauty Bay release. I have a whole playlist. What is happening? I have a whole playlist just for Beauty Bay reviews. I test them all here, so if you want to see that, I will link it in the next screen. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, but until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye!